G'day everyone and welcome back to episode 2 of our AW11 MR2 project. So welcome to new subscribers. I did post up in a bunch of the groups for the MR2 groups and Toyota groups because I thought this might interest a few of you and hopefully it does. So welcome aboard, welcome to this stupid adventure. So first off, a couple of things. I did have a few people message me and ask me what this car is for, because obviously the last big build and what this whole thing was all about was building my race car, and that is a dedicated track car. Obviously it cannot be driven on the street anymore. It is fully ripped out with a cage and all that sort of stuff. Well, basically the problem with that is I love that car and I will keep it and I'll keep racing and I enjoy racing thoroughly. But to build another race car would mean I just wouldn't have enough time to drive both of them. I barely get enough time to go to the track with my current car, and I really want to be out on track more, so building yet another race car that I can only drive on the track would be pretty stupid, I think. So what I'm gonna do is build a nice street car out of this. So I want something that I could drive all the time. You know, it's not gonna be, I'm gonna keep it fairly comfortable. You know, I'm not gonna make it stupid stiff suspension, all that sort of stuff. I will make it handle well. But we'll also do some track days on it, maybe some hill climbs, things like that, and use it. I am not one of those people who builds a car, sticks it in the garage and doesn't use it. What's the point in that? Who are you saving it for? It's like saving your wife for the next husband. It makes no sense. So, and even though this does have low Ks, I'm gonna have to do so much rust repair and stuff on it that it's never gonna be like a concourse car or anything like that. So, and concourse cars and all that sort of stuff don't interest me anyway. I'm not gonna paint an original color. I'm gonna do a brand new, cool color on this thing. I've already got a color in mind. We'll talk about that another day. And yeah, it's gonna be, you know, it won't have the standard wheels, all that sort of stuff. So anyway, that answers your question. Basically, I want to build a fun weekender. Like, I don't want to drive it in crappy weather, but when the weather's good, I'll take it to work, I'll take it to jobs, I'll do all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna use this car. And it'll probably be the most fuel efficient car I own. So with the price of fuel, I'll probably end up using it a lot. So that's that. Secondly, probably should come up with a name for this whole project. You know, like Nugget Project is kind of, the Nug is the XL, which is next door. But, and even though the channel's called a Nugget Project, I feel like this little guy should have a name. So I'll put it to you guys. What should we call this project? They do have a few nicknames, these cars, because it's an AW11. A lot of people call them A-dubs. Because it's an MR2, a lot of people call them Mr. 2. Who knows? I mean, geez, this nickname should probably be called Rusty, really, but anyway, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you come up with a fun name for this project, and we'll call the playlist that and we'll use it in the title. So yes, throw me your names for this car. Right, anyway, onto the video. So today I was planning on rolling the car outside, stripping everything out of it, stripping everything off of it. So I want to get rid of all the panels, the bonnet, everything that can come off this car, get out of there, because I want to be able to see where all the rust is, where all the problem spots are. But Melbourne's doing Melbourne things again, and it is really gnarly outside. It is chucking it with rain and windy and horrible, so it's not gonna happen today. So this video will go on for a couple of days. So hopefully tomorrow or Monday, I've got the day off too, we'll roll it outside, and I wanna get some photos of it while it's still somewhat complete. So we've got some comparison photos when it's finished, and we'll strip as much stuff off it as possible. And then I need to take the engine out. So obviously, that gearbox, I think, is pretty shagged, and I'm not interested in an auto anyway, so I want to get the engine in the box out. Who knows if that's the final engine for this car? I think I will keep that engine to keep it registered, but there is an engine I've kind of got my eye on for the future, way down the track. It's a money thing, but I think it'd be very cool for this car. So anyway, that is a story for much later on, but it would be cool if we can get that 4AGE working. Yeah, the Ks are low, it just depends how bad it is because it's been left for so long. So anyway, what I want to do first is, while we are in the garage, and while I can't really go outside because it's so gross, let's have a look at, I haven't taken anything out of the interior, I've still left it. This is how I kind of left it. All I did since the last video was I've pulled everything out of the frunk. So I'll just show you some of the stuff we found in the frunk. So anyway, let's get started. I'll grab the camera and we'll have a look at some of the bits. But yes, this is one of the boxes I pulled out the front, so it's got a lot of stuff. One cool thing is that's the washer bottle, and it's actually in really good condition. So that's, hey, bonus, brilliant, really cool. And then we've got things like, you know, the filler neck that was in the engine bay, we've got the handbrake, got the brake booster, dizzy cap, fan motors, igniter, And then I didn't realize this is actually a plastic bit that goes inside the frunk. And so the spare wheel sits here, that's where the brake booster sits, and that's where the reservoir is. So it does have actually some plastic trim inside the frunk, which is very cool. Lots of the aircon bits, I found that's the cluster clock, the one that does the indicator and everything, and that's in good condition, so that's great. This one is going to be a little bit of a problem. So this, let me just lay this out over here for you. So that is the roof lining. As you can see, it is very sad. It is all collapsed and everything, but we do have this as a template. I just don't know how it works, because you can see these bits here, they're molded to fit the roof, and they've got the curves in them, the curve for the light and all that sort of stuff. I don't know how that works in terms of recreating it. So yeah, I'm not too sure what the deal is with that. I think I need to speak to an interior specialist and see if that's something that they can recreate. Inside these boxes, see I wrapped all this up, so inside there and there and there, that's the back window. They're the side windows, and are in mint condition, which is so good, because they'd be very hard to find. And yeah, our engine bay, so yikes, she's a bit of a mess, but I think I just need to get in there, get it out, see what's good, see what's bad. I mean, you can already see like this is the coolant overflow tank, expansion tank, and it's pretty cactus, but there we go. Our lovely sponsors at Raceworks make this guy. So this is a coolant expansion tank, and it's got all the measurements on there. Lovely, beautifully black anodized alloy piece, and I measured, and it fits in that hole perfectly. So I reckon one of those can go in place of that junky looking stock one. That's great. If you haven't got one of these, this is the PAT catalogue. So PAT is the umbrella company for Raceworks. So it's got all the Raceworks stuff in there. Get yourself that. I think they may have a new edition. That's edition 3. I think they're up to edition 4 maybe. Or if not, it's coming out soon. So grab one of those. Raceworks and PAT stuff is awesome. Okay, so I figure you guys can come along and avoid your discovery with me. As I said, I have not emptied out any of this stuff, so I don't know what's in here. So that would be the blower setup and the heater matrix. Ugh. Some of those heater pipes are a bit mangled. I might see if we can reshape those, but they're not good. That's a bugger. But it's got all the controllers on it and the actuators and stuff. All the foam's dead, so after, oh yuck. See that? That foam is literally just disintegrating. So, more little plastic trims. MR2 mud flap, that's cool. With the MR2 logo on it. You can see that. Aha! So this is part of the side skirts. That's for the other side. That's the bit that fits back here. So there should be another one. There it is. There we go. So that's the parts of the other bit of the side skirt, which I've got over there. Goes along and then up on the front, and then this one fits on the back there. Something kind of like that, but better. So that's cool, and it's got a little bit broken off there, but not much. Nothing you can't see, so that's great. That's awesome. More ducting for the heater. Oh my God, there's so much stuff for heater and stuff in here. So this is the aircon. Actually looks in pretty good nick. Once again, Jesus, crap falling off everywhere. Once again, all that foam is just cactus. But it's got the big aircon thing in there, and I think it'd be rude to not try and get this aircon working again, because we do live in Australia, and Australia is hot. Oh, I think that's the part of the dashboard. That's the little tray area that sits. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a little fan. Yeah, so it's got this little motory thing here, and it's just got a little vent. But it's got a fan on the inside. What? Was it like a hand cooling fan or something? Like one both sides? I don't know, MR2 people, let me know what that is. That's weird. Oh, that's the, I'll show you that. So that is a little felt pad, and that goes in this tray here. So you can imagine that's the dash. I think that's kind of the stereo surround area, and then that little felt pad sits in there. How freaking adorable. It's even got the little Velcro tabs that have obviously unglued now, but that's sick. Whether they stay or whether we do a little, I'll 3D print and design a little hood here and then maybe some old school looking gauges so we have oil pressure and water temp there. That'd be cool. We'll see, I might do that. There we go, she's empty. Oh, no she's not. We've got the boot. Let's have a look in the boot. Oh man. This is, I'm gonna wake up screaming in my sleep about this. That is pretty much the entire wiring loom for the car and the engine. Good Lord. And the fuse box and everything. Oh shit, I wish I took that out myself. Okay. And then the stock, or the muffler that was on it. It's, oh my God, it's so full of rust. I will keep it purely as a reference. And then floor carpet. It's obviously been glued down at some point and come up. What mysteries are we going to find in here? Oh, I'll tell you what, at least this bit, there is no rust. Thank God. Okay, so that's enough of me talking. I thought I just wanted to share my little automotive archaeology with you, figuring out all those little bits. But now I think we'll skip forward to tomorrow or Monday or whenever the sun's going to come out, or it's not chucking there with rain. Push this bad boy out, we'll get all the panels off it, we'll bring it back in backwards and we'll get this engine out. So let's skip forward to then. Okay, it's the next day and it's kind of sunny and hopefully I've got a little bit of time before I have to deal with the kids. So I'm going to try and push this thing out. I just want to show you a couple of updates of what I'm doing. So first thing, I put up a shelf there. Just went and got some brackets from Bunnings and some pretty decent Dynabolts. And even though it looks rickety and ghetto, it is strong enough. So I've got both the seats up there and all like the expensive, nice interior bits, and also the windows are behind there because far out, I dropped the hammer off the ladder yesterday and I almost broke one of the rear windows and I would have been mortified. So all the expensive and rare and nice good parts are up there. Something else I've done, I have trouble getting this car in and out, and I'm gonna have to get it in and out the garage a little bit. So out here, it is a bit of a slope out the driveway and it does have a little step up and I just can't push it in and out myself, even though it's a light car. So I got this guy cheap from Super Cheap Auto. It's just a 1,000 kilo hand winch, and I've just Dynabolted in a 5mm L bracket there, which I can just hook that onto and I can just winch it up. Now the next thing is trying to make this car stop because that driveway does slope down and I don't want to go through the neighbour's fence. Okay, we're under the car and I'll show you what the hell I've done. So it's a bit of a weird setup on this. So we've got the two handbrake cables here coming from the rear brakes, and I've put this plate back on and it's got, yeah, basically the guides for the cables, and they've got these weird little clips and stuff. And I found this plate in the pile of stuff with this pivot. So basically they connect up to this divider, go up to this bar, go around this pivot, and then that's the cable that I found that goes into the car and goes up to the handbrake. So look, this is the first part of putting this car back together with no instructions, and it wasn't that bad, except I do have that hole there. That is a broken bolt in the chassis, so that sucks. All these threads are rusty and we'll need taps to go through them. This one was threaded out. I already had to run a tap through that for the little clamp to hold the cable on. So there's going to be a lot of that going on, just lots of cleaning up junky, corroded, rusted threads and making this work, but that's all in there now. I mean, this isn't all done up tight, but that doesn't matter for this. I just need the handbrake to work. So let's go in the car and see if this handbrake actually works, because that would make life a lot easier moving this car around if I can stop it. Also, the amount of WD-40 I've already used on this car just to get things working, I think I'm gonna need sponsorship. So anybody from WD-40 wants to send me a case of this stuff, I'm gonna need it on this car. Right, let's have a look at this handbrake. So, oh yeah, this door hits that quarter panel, we'll have to work on that. All right, so I've bolted the handbrake back in and that's got the cable hooked up. Okay, That sounds pretty positive. I might do those bolts up a bit tighter, and then I might stick it down on the ground and see if it actually stops the car. Alright, so brake it off, push it forward. Oh, yeah, must be doing something. How brave am I? Maybe we'll roll it outside and see what it does.
Is the brake work? Have you tested it?
Kind of. Yeah, try it.
Oh, yeah. Something.
If we don't put it on.
I am.
Okay, it's kind of working. Yeah, okay. Good.
Okay. Let it go?
Let it off.
Off?
Yep. It's out. Yeah, brake on. Yeah, it's doing stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty, we've got her outside. The handbrake kind of works. But I think it's time to give this thing a bit of a wash, and then let's get some panels off it. So we'll give it a bit of a scrub first, just because, you know, it's outside. And then, yeah, I think we'll get the bonnet and the guards and the doors and everything off it. Let's go. How cool is this? Removable moonroof. I heard rumors that this was a thing. So it's just got these little tabs that hook in here, and as it flicks up, it's got this little, oh, focus, this little wire thing, and you just unhook the wire thing and the whole moonroof just pops off. And apparently, when the trunk is all set up, the front, sorry, you can put the moonroof glass in the front and it all fits in there perfectly. How sick's that? Unfortunately, I've just found this little clip here. Sorry, let me just fix my focus here. There you go, let's try that. Yeah, this little clip here, it's pretty rusted. So I'm either gonna have to machine up a piece to replace that or try and find a replacement one. And then this diffuser will pop up and work. And this seal's looking a little average. Try to recover it, but I think it's pretty dead. Geez, she looks a pretty sorry sight with no panels on her. There we go. That is pretty much the car stripped out by the windscreen. Look, I don't think the carpets are that bad. I'm going to give them a good wash and a clean, and hopefully they're good, because that's just another thing we don't have to buy for this car. Other than that, it is what it is. Oh, hey, little helper. What's going on? This car will probably be handed down to her one day, so she's going to help me fix it up, aren't you? Yeah, want to do mummy's hair. Okay, well that doesn't help me right now. We're trying to fix the car. Do you like the car? Yeah? It's a bit dirty, isn't it? What colour do you think we should paint it?
Brown.
Never ask kids questions. That's a terrible suggestion. It's already black. Choose a better colour.
Red.
Hey, you might be onto something there. Anyway, we'll find that out in a later episode.
White.
No, we've already got white cars. Okay, now the car's apart, let's have a look at all the rust, because we can pretty much see all of it now. And there's a lot of it. And you guys are gonna all laugh at me and go, oh, why'd you do this? You're an idiot, you're never gonna be able to fix it. Because that's the comments I'm getting. And I can tell you now, I am gonna fix it, and it's gonna be freaking awesome, and you can all suffer in your jocks when it is done. So, let's go and have a look at all this rust that, yes, will take me a long time to fix. Okay, let's start in here. So, down the bottom here, not too bad. Little bits, I'll patch that up. This is probably some of the worst here in the firewall, mainly because it's going to be an absolute bitch to get in there with the welder. But, is what it is. That's okay, that's okay. The next bit is here. So we'll have to make up a plate for that and fix that up. Obviously we've seen our outer panel, but the inner panel doesn't look too bad, which is good. We've seen all this. In the floor, yep, I'm gonna have to replace that section of the floor, a little bit there too, so not ideal, but we'll do it. Around here, obviously we have the outer panel, but we also have the inner panel there and there. So we're gonna have to do a patch there and on the corner. Once again, not ideal. And a bit in the boot sill, so I have to, definitely gonna have to get a sheet metal folder because I can bend that up easily. And then just replace that section. I'll cut that out up to the, sorry, I'm terribly filming here, but cut that out to there and then just replace that whole section. In the boot, amazingly, the boot is not rusty, so that's fantastic. So you have the rust down there, which goes into that panel. This side, not so bad. In general, for some reason, the driver's side seems to be better than the passenger side. One thing I did notice though, that is Bondo. So we're gonna have to get rid of all the Bondo and try and knock that panel straight before we paint it. We've seen this here, a little bit of rust here. What else have we got? How is the driver's footwell? Once again, the driver's side, much better. There's a little hole there, but much better condition than the passenger side. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah, in general, the driver's side stuff is really good. So that's great. We do have this bit here that I'll have to fix. So once again, it's going to be a bit of bending and welding and little patches, and then file it all down and make it look good. Under here all felt pretty good when I had to dig around. I've got a little patch there, and once again in that wheel well, which seems to be a notorious spot for it. Yeah, that's it guys. That is the car stripped down and fairly naked. Oh, and obviously we've got the roof too. So we've got that, both sides where they had the roof rack on it. And there will be a little bit up in this window. Just not too sure how bad that is, how surface it is. If it is fairly surface and not too deep, I will just rust treat it and then fill it. Save cutting sections out, but I won't know that till the windscreen comes out and I start hacking at it with a grinderette. What a sad little car. Okay, we're back in the shed. It started to rain. Seems to be the theme of these videos so far. So I use my little winch system, and yeah, it's slow, but it gets it up over that hump and into the garage. So it worked, that's cool. So the car is obviously stripped down. It's good. So we got to see all the rust, and yep, there is a lot of rust, guys. And you know, I've had a few people message me and comment and stuff and been a little bit negative about, oh, you know, that's a lot of rust, you know, rust is difficult, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I know. If this was easy, everyone would do it. So, you know, everyone would go and get a cheap Japanese car or a classic Holden or something and spend a couple of weeks in the garage, fix it up, and then have a 30, 40 grand car. But it's not the case. It's hard. That's why people don't do it. So I am keen on doing all this sort of stuff. It's something I want to do. I've wanted to do sheet metal. I've wanted to learn how to do rust repairs and all that sort of stuff. And the good news is, as I showed you with a lot of this, a lot of the rust spots are hidden. And by that I mean like they're under panels. Like even these little bits here, there's that plastic vent that goes over the top. So obviously I will repair it and do it properly because I want it to be good. But that, even if it's a little bit shitty, that vent will cover it up. And it's like that on a lot of the car, bar things like where that roof rack was. So I'll start in all the parts of the car that you can't see, and I'll work my way out to the parts that you can see. If I get to parts like this on the roof, that's obviously very visible, and I still don't feel like I've gained the skills, then maybe I'll take it to somebody, take it to a professional and say, look, can you fix these bits and get them bang up before we paint it? Because yeah, I want it to look good. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully I get good enough, and I'm gonna do it all myself, because that would be really cool. Literally to build this entire car myself with no help. That's my goal, is to learn how to do everything. I'm gonna try and learn how to do some upholstery stuff. Obviously we're gonna do the engine, which I know a bit about, but I'm gonna learn a bit more. Bit of panel beating. There's a lot here, and I would really like to try and do it all myself and bring you guys along in the journey. So if you ever want to do it yourself, you can kind of see what worked for me, what didn't, and go from there. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this video up. Next episode, I want to take the engine and box out, and we'll pull the engine off the box and we'll have a look at that engine. turn it over, give it a look and see if it's any good. Fingers crossed it is, because that would be one less problem for me. It would be really nice. But yeah, we're making progress. Sometimes these videos are going to come every week, sometimes they're going to come for a month or so, because when I get to the chassis part of this, I will show you what I'm doing with the rust repair, but there is literally going to be weeks and weeks and weeks of me in this shed doing rust repair, and like I'm probably just going to chip away. I'll do little bits after work. You know, if I've got a day off, I'll spend a day in here just chipping away at it. So there's no point me filming literally weeks of rust repair, because that'd be boring, but I will film the interesting bits. I will film the before and after, and you guys can see what I'm doing. But yeah, there's probably going to be a big period in there during the rust repair process where you're not going to see videos for a while. So enjoy them while they're coming quickly. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I really appreciate that. To all you new people here, welcome. I hope you enjoy this. This is something a bit different for me. The racing and building the XL was fantastic, and I'll still continue to do that, but this is a whole new adventure. And I'm hoping you're enjoying it, and I'm hoping all the old viewers stick around for this, because even though it's not an XL, we will be taking it out on track, and it is still a fun little car, and it's, yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next episode where we pull this box out and hopefully, pull the engine out, and hopefully it's good. Cheers.